All right, let's just get right into it. Picture this. You wake up, your heart is just pounding, and you feel a little lost. The room is dark, but the image in your mind is so clear. You just had a dream about that person. And right away, your mind just starts racing, doesn't it? What on earth could that mean? Does it mean you still have feelings? Maybe it means they're thinking about you right now. Is this some kind of cosmic message from the universe? You know, maybe it was one of those dreams so vivid and passionate about an ex that you were sure you were over. And now you're just left questioning everything. Or maybe it was something just deeply weird, like a terrifying dream where your boss, of all people, is chasing you down, but to give you a hug. It's confusing, it feels strangely threatening, and it's definitely going to make that morning meeting a little awkward. Or hey, maybe it was just completely bonkers. Your third grade teacher who you haven't thought about in, decades? Just sitting there totally calm on top of a giraffe. Why? I mean, what could that possibly signify? Well, for centuries, people have tried to read these nightly visions like they're prophecies or some kind of secret message from beyond. But today, we're going to put the crystal balls away. In this explainer, we are going to look at what modern science and psychology actually have to say about why these people keep showing up in your own personal sleep theater. We're going to start with why we wake up so confused in the first place. Then, we'll take a peek at what's going on during your brain's night shift. We'll meet the cast of your dreams and figure out their roles. After that, I'll give you a practical guide for interpretation. And finally, we'll get to the most important point of all. The message is from you. So let's start with the first and honestly the most crucial point. The problem with these dreams, it isn't really the dream itself. The real issue, the thing that causes all the stress and anxiety, is how we interpret it. We just have this powerful, natural urge to take everything in our dreams literally. Seriously, think about it. If you dream you're getting back with an ex, your first thought when you wake up is, oh no, I must not be over them. If you dream you're fighting with a friend, you wake up thinking, are we about to have a real fight? This literal reading just piles on so much unnecessary emotional baggage. You start your day with this emotional hangover, feeling guilty or anxious, trying to solve a puzzle that might not even be the puzzle you think it is. And this right here, this is a core concept in dream psychology. See, we assume the dream is about the person, but it almost never is. A better way to think about it is that the people in your dreams are just actors. They're wearing costumes. The dream itself, it's almost always about you. Your feelings, your unresolved issues, the parts of yourself that you're maybe not paying enough attention to during the day. Okay, so to really get why this happens, we kind of have to put on our lab coats for a second and dive into the neuroscience of it all. What is actually going on inside your brain when you're dreaming? Well, to understand this, we need to look at three key things: REM sleep, your brain's emotional command center, and a process called memory consolidation. So, most of our really vivid, story-like dreaming happens during a stage of sleep called REM, which stands for rapid eye movement. This happens a few times a night, and it's a pretty wild state to be in. During REM, your brain is almost as active as it is when you're wide awake, but your body is temporarily paralyzed, which, let's be honest, is a pretty good feature. It's what stops you from physically acting out that dream where you're trying to fly off the roof. Now, here's what makes dreams so incredibly strange. While your brain is super active, it's not all firing in the same way. The prefrontal cortex, that's the part responsible for logic, reason, the adult in the room, it's mostly offline. At the same time, the limbic system, which is your brain's emotional center, is going wild. We're talking about the amygdala, the home of fear and intense feeling. It's just firing on all cylinders. And that's why dreams feel so emotionally real, but also so completely illogical. You've got all of the drama with absolutely none of the logic. So, why does the brain even do this? One of the biggest theories is that dreaming is basically your brain's night shift. It's a time for memory consolidation and emotional processing. Imagine your brain is this busy office. All day long, you're just getting flooded with emails, phone calls, interactions, feelings. You don't have time to sort through it. So when you fall asleep, the night crew comes in. They start filing everything away, figuring out what's important to keep, what's junk to be deleted, and which emotional experiences need to be processed so they don't feel so intense the next day. And all that processing, well, it brings us to the cast of characters in your nightly plays. This is where we get to that really crucial psychological idea. In your dreams, people are almost never actually themselves. They are symbols. Psychologists generally have two main ways of looking at these dream characters. The first is the aspect of self theory. This idea suggests that every single person in your dream is actually just representing a part of you.
The second idea, the emotional placeholder theory, is a little different. It suggests that the person isn't a piece of you, but they're just a stand-in for a very specific feeling. Your brain just grabs their face because it's the strongest picture you have that's connected to that particular emotion.
Okay, so let's dig into some real-world examples. Here's a classic one that causes so much confusion. You're happy, maybe you're even in a great new relationship, and then bam. You have this incredibly intense, passionate dream about a toxic ex from 5 years ago. You wake up feeling guilty, confused, and you're immediately asking yourself, oh my God, does this mean I'm not over them? Well, the scientific take is probably not. It's much more likely that your brain is processing a need for more intensity or passion in your current life, and it's just using your ex as a symbol for that feeling, not for the actual person. Or that ex could just be a stand-in for a whole different time in your life. And here's a weird one. If you're under a lot of stress, your brain might even reach for a familiar figure, even a negative one, as a strange sort of comfort.
All right, on to our second scenario. You dream your boss is chasing you through a dark forest. It is terrifying, except they're also wearing a ridiculous clown suit. So the feeling is this bizarre mix of pure fear and complete absurdity. So let's break this one down. That clown suit, that's your logical prefrontal cortex being offline. It's your brain's way of showing you that logic has left the building. The terror, that's your amygdala, your fear center, just going into overdrive. In this dream, your boss isn't literally your boss. They are a symbol for your anxiety about work. And that classic chase scene, in dreams, that often means you're feeling overwhelmed or like you're trying to run away from a big responsibility. And for our last example, let's talk about the random cameo. This is when you dream about someone you barely even know, like the cashier you saw for 30 seconds yesterday, or a kid you sat next to in grade school. And in the dream, this person gives you the most profound, life-changing advice you have ever heard.
This is a perfect example of something called day residue. Your brain is literally just sorting through the random files from the previous day, and that person's face happened to be in the recent pile. They are just a random avatar your brain picked. But here's the crucial part. The advice they give you, that advice isn't from them. It's your own subconscious wisdom speaking to you. Your mind just used a convenient neutral face to deliver its message. Okay, so now that we know all this, how can we actually use it? How do we handle these dreams when we wake up from them? What we need isn't some dream dictionary that says teeth falling out means X. What we need is a psychological framework. So I'm going to give you a simple 5-step toolkit to help you decode your dreams without freaking out. Okay, let's walk through this. Step 1, decode the emotion. When you wake up, forget the person for a second. Ask yourself, what was the main feeling? Was it fear, joy, guilt? Start there. Step 2, identify the symbol. Now think about the person. Ask yourself, what does this person represent to me? What are the first 3 words that pop into my head when I think of them? Step 3, connect to waking life. Now try to build a bridge. How does that feeling and that symbol connect to something going on in your life right now? Step 4, consider the aspect of self. This is where you can try on that other theory. Ask, what if this person is actually a part of me? What part? And finally, step 5, re-script the dream. This is amazing for recurring nightmares. While you're awake, you can consciously imagine a different, better, more empowering ending to that dream. You can actually teach your brain a new way to resolve it. And all of this leads us to our final and honestly our most important section. The goal here is to help you shift your entire perspective on dreams, to move away from that feeling of fear and confusion and instead move toward a feeling of curiosity. Dreams about other people can feel so incredibly powerful and real that it's tempting to think they're coming from somewhere else. But they are not prophecies about your future, and they are not telepathic messages being beamed into your head from another person. It's all an entirely internal process. Which brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. These nightly dramas, they are messages from you to you. It's just one part of your mind finding a way to communicate with another part of your mind, using this strange, symbolic, emotional language of dreams. So, instead of being afraid of these dreams, try seeing them for what they really are. Your dreaming brain is this brilliant, creative, and yes, sometimes overly dramatic storyteller. And it's working for you. It's trying to help you digest the really complex emotional meal of your waking life. It's dropping clues about what you're truly feeling deep down, what you might be afraid of, and what you might actually need. So the next time someone you know pops into your dream uninvited, you don't have to panic. You can just kind of thank them for stopping by, identify the feeling they brought with them, and know that your brain is just doing its job on the night shift.
And that leaves me with one last question for you to think about. Who is the absolute strangest person you have ever dreamt about? And now, what do you think they really meant?